if this was not a race debate, everyone would be upset because it's a traced edit. It's not even art, mind you. Look at this. Look at this art. This is traced and edited. This is not drawn. People should be outraged by the fact that this individual is selling these edits, even though, or these arts, quote unquote, even though they are literally traced edits. That's normally what people in the art community on Twitter would be outraged about. But now there's people here defending this shit because they see an underlying racist undertone, even though the people that say this is not racist are just wrong. What's good, YouTube? Yo, welcome to something that unfortunately will be something we will always have in the anime slash manga slash Japanese entertainment business, and that's racism, okay? And that doesn't exclude, or that doesn't only include our community, right? It includes every community. As long as people are involved, racism will always exist, right? I think with this it kind of became a little bit too extreme. I mean, before I start explaining everything in very poor manners, let's just look at the video that lays it out completely in structured sense. So yeah, all right. Japan is sick of English voice actors, so let's go.
So a few days ago, we were talking about this art of Okrun and Momo, which has now collected over 90,000 likes.
Yeah, that's I've seen that. Yeah.
However, many people in Japan are not happy with this art. For example, this tweet with over 70,000 likes. Once again, it reads, "There are still many racists who say that changing the race of a Japanese character is not discrimination. And as such, you can see from the quotes, they say it's a great drawing because the character is not Japanese. If you point this out, you'll be called a racist. Their IQ is too low to even understand what discrimination is."
Yeah, I completely agree. It's a hypocrisy issue, right? Rules for thee, but not for me. And I think that's the biggest issue here because, as you remember, one of the artists from what's that anime called? I don't know. It's some wacky anime. Anyway, he drew a Splatoon character in pastel colors, and if you don't know what pastel colors are, pastel colors are a palette of these specific colors. And this individual colored in this, drawing of this Splatoon character in pastel colors. Now, as you can see, it's all pretty light. And the issue a lot of people had was that the character is portrayed as dark-skinned, right? And that's where people kind of, got very fed up and called the artist very racist. And I bet he's gonna mention it too in this video. But I just want to let you know, I know about the whole thing. Okay, I know about pretty much every single thing we're going through right now, and it's also Disney's not making it better with casting black characters as white characters, and casting white and just completely ignoring their standpoints about, oh well, the character is rooted in his or hers community, culture, and everything, but then they cast a black Viking a character, something that is white culture, as Americans would say. Okay, we just call it, you know, Swedish or Finnish, or what's the other one? You got Sweden, Finland, and Norway. Yeah, Norway. You know, we call it, you know, by the proper names, you know, us Europeans. But Americans really like to call people white and black. Personally, I don't like the whole thing about white and black. It's that, you know, a lot of people get confused whenever I say pale or dark skin. They somehow find it more racist whenever I say, like, dark skin instead of black for some reason. Or whenever I say pale instead of white. But I just see people in tints of different colors, all right? We are all the same. We're all the same tint of brown, all right? Nobody's white. And, okay, well, there is definitely some Africans that are very, very pigmented, right? But that doesn't mean that they are black, okay? They are just very dark brown, because black is not a thing. Black is an absence of color. And if somebody would be really truly black in the very sense of, you know, what black is, that would mean he lacks color. That would mean he doesn't fucking exist. Okay? Anyway, so yeah, I don't really like the term like black or white, but it just makes it easier to talk to people, you know. So I do here and there use it, but personally my preference is pale or dark skin. Okay? But, oh yeah. And then they cast a Viking, which is, you know, it's a North European culture. And, if I know how, you know, human evolution works in the sense of, we, as people, adapt to our environment, okay? And I don't want to like a whole like spiel about how pigments, how people became dark skin or pale skin, but essentially it comes down to this, okay? We as humans physically adapt to our environment, okay? If you live in a rather cold environment, you need a lot of vitamin C, which you don't really get from the sun because the sun is not very apparent in those regions, right? So your pigment of your skin makes it so you can easily absorb vitamin D, right? But on the other side of the spectrum, right, where if you have a lot of sun, your skin tries to protect itself from absorbing too much vitamin D, because if you have too much vitamin D, there's literally some things that can happen that are not very great. So those skin tones are to prevent the absorption of vitamin D, you know, like lessen it. And that's why people in, for example, Africa are darker skinned than people, for example, in Norway, right? So if we have all this information, right, in front of us, all of this information, here's why people are darker skinned, and here is why people are lighter skinned, right? Why in the fuck are we having a black fucking Viking? Something that is quote unquote white culture. And that's the whole issue around it, alright? Because the hypocrisy is hard. Is insane, alright? Because look at the Ariel situation, right? Little Mermaid, right? Personally, I don't really have an issue with it. It's whatever, you know. I think it should be fine, you know. I think white characters should be able to play black characters, and black characters should be able to play white characters. But that's not the case, all right? It's only white people can't play black characters, but black people can play white characters. That's the issue. And then they go like, oh, well, back in the day, they did this, and there were racist depictions of Africans and blah blah. Yeah, you know how long that fucking time is ago, right? Have you like, I don't know, evolved in time and space? Have you realized that the majority of people are not okay with that, with whatever happens back in the day? Have you realized that I don't know, people with my skin tone majorly are not racist and don't hate black people and are respectful towards you because we see you as fellow human fucking beings? Have you realized that whole thing? Or are you just completely ignoring how treatment has, you know, changed? Like, in a gigantic way, alright? I don't think this whole, like, oh, well, your people used to be very racist. Bro, I am fucking Dutch, okay? I would be public enemy number fucking one because the Dutch was like one of the biggest in the slave trades in the entire fucking world, right? Right? But here in the Netherlands, I never, and I repeat, never hear the same shit that happens in America. All right? A lot of African Americans say about say like, oh, you're slave traders or crackers or whatever, right? I'm fucking Dutch. If there would be any fucking culture that would get scrutinized for the slave trade, it would be us. But yet, that shit doesn't happen. You know why? Because we here in the Netherlands are not of the culture of victim mentality, of not, oh, this is unfair. Like, we're not in that shit. But lately, all that shit comes from social media, and it slowly but surely is also infiltrating in our culture now. So I could say that America is intoxicating our was previously very peaceful culture. This whole victim mentality is coming from America into my fucking country because some crybabies in America think it's fucking unfair that white people have this so-called white privilege, which, mind you, the majority of the white population in America are broke, alright? They are in poverty, alright? They live next to people that are dark, that are also in poverty, right? But yeah, white privilege, because 1.1% of the white population is living extremely good. That's so fucking dumb. That's so fucking ignorant, and that's so fucking moronic. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So it's more the hypocrisy behind the whole spiel of, you know, black people can do things that white people can't. That's inherently racist, right? So yeah, anyway, continue before this video is going to be 5 hours long.
This response getting over 370,000 likes, reading simply,
Asian characters are black or not Disney characters. Yeah, that's what I said, man.
Yo, I'm Japanese. Stop making Asian characters black. We're not Disney characters. In the responses to that post, I saw some people very confused by the Disney comment. So for anyone confused, they're like,
How is anyone confused by the Disney comment, bro? Look at the previous, like, Little Mermaid. We have, what's her face? The, with the dwarves. Cinderella? No, not Cinderella, is it? I don't know, other Disney characters that were previously white, they are now black, right? And back in the day, right, I would have said, oh, well, they just casted somebody who's good at acting, and, you know, portrays the character better than anyone else could. But that's not true, because we know Disney has a checklist. We know Disney always tries to throw in a black character, a queer character, or any other minority character, and if it's something very convenient, they make the evil or the bad guy white. That's just how it is. That's just how it is, bro.
Likely referring to how Disney has race swapped characters. Anyways, there was then this tweet that I also showed in the prior video where this Japanese user says, "I'll put it back and post Okarun and Momo." I believe when I showed that tweet in my prior video, it had a few hundred likes. Well, since then, it's gotten over 210,000 likes.
Damn.
As well as this response to it with 69,000 likes reading, "When Akawa Bukubu Sensei drew Ida from Splatoon 2, he had a slightly lighter skin tone, so everyone made a big fuss about it being racist, but then they're happily making Japanese characters black and justifying it. Their double standards are ridiculous."
Yep. That's it. That's just, you know what I said. It's literally just the hypocrisy surrounding this whole situation. Because if this was not a race debate, everyone would be upset because it's a traced edit. It's not even art, mind you. Look at this. Look at this art. This is traced and edited. This is not drawn. People should be outraged by the fact that this individual is selling these edits, even though, or these arts, quote unquote, even though they are literally traced edits. That's normally what people in the art community on Twitter would be outraged about. But now there's people here defending this shit because they see an underlying racist undertone, even though the people that say this is not racist are just wrong. Because if one is racist, the other is also racist. You can't have the hypocrisy about, oh, rules for thee but not for me. That's how you get fucking enemies, bro. That's how you get slavery. Like, is it that hard to understand that the majority of people just want to be treated equally, and whenever something like this that is unequal comes up, people are gonna be mad because they see the hypocrisy, and then you're gonna say, well, it's different, even though it's literally the same thing? Like, it's so dumb. This whole situation is dumb. I think people should be allowed, you know, should be just able to race swap, gender swap, anything, bro. They can swap whatever the fuck. I don't care. All right, art is art. If you want to make some character that you really like black, for example, like, I don't know, I've seen a lot of like Gojo edits that he's like black. I think that's cool. I think I also like I reposted back in the day a lot of those things because I thought they looked cool, right? But now I want to support that because I think art should be expressive, right? I think art should be whatever the fuck you want it to be, right? But the fact that whenever a literally established artist using pastel color palettes got these fucking idiots hating on her or him, I don't know. I'm not actually sure. I thought it was a she, right? Was it a she? Bakubu. Okawa Bakubu. I mean, that could be either, to be honest. I don't know, but whatever, right? Using pastel colors. I think he's also gonna show it, right? He's not gonna show it? He's not gonna show the art? Alright, then I'll look it up. Here it is. Here's the image. This is where people were outraged about it. This is her for comparison. See, it's slightly less bright, but the whole drawing is brighter. Like, the whole color palette is brighter. Like, this is brown here. This is more like gray. Like it's just. Anyway, people were upset about this whole thing.
So a few days ago.
Oh, great. Reset for some reason. But for some reason, we can't be mad or upset or point out and criticize that if this is racist, then the thing that we just witnessed with the Ochre Raccoon Don edit is also racist, right? You can't have one is racist, one isn't, just because minorities are oppressed in America. Like, newsflash, minorities on the earth, it's us, all right? Pale people on earth are the minority, all right? The majority of people on earth are darker skin. Like, but whatever, bro. You just got these, like, fucking victim mentalities morons complaining about us having a issue with the things that they also have issues with. Like, it's just the hypocrisy of it.
Discriminatory. So they're citing that Splatoon situation that I've talked about a few times on this channel, where the creator of Pop Team Epic had made this Marina art and then received a tremendous amount of insults from people on Twitter, including this tweet, which was like basically.
Oh yeah, but this is not it though. Like, this was a funny meme, right? There was a funny meme. But people for this, they just made it racist, right? The intention of this is racism, right? And the moment something that I'm a huge advocate for racism is based in intent, because if I call somebody I don't know, a controller, I don't know, whatever. Maybe not the best example. Let's say I call somebody an ape, right? Not as and the only reason I call that person an ape because he's very how you say it, animalistic. Like, he shows animalistic behaviors, right? Like, he shows typical ape behavior, right? Now, if I said that about a pale-skinned person, nobody would bat an eye. But whenever I would say it to about a black person or a dark-skinned person, people would immediately assume I'm racist. Even though the same behavior patterns occur in every single skin tone in the human behavior, because we are inherently animals, right? Intent is what makes racism, in my opinion, and something harmless that could be said to somebody could seem racist to somebody else. And I think that's just wrong. I think intent should always be the determining factor whether something is racist or not. Because now, because we don't do that, there's really passive-aggressive racism, right? Or there's the polar opposite. You criticize a person and then get labeled racist because you criticize somebody and they just believe that you did that because you hate that race. Like, that's the dumbest shit ever, right? You can't even criticize some people nowadays because you get immediately labeled racist. And some people might care, right? And a lot of people would care about that, right? Being labeled racist, because you could literally lose your job. It's socially destructive to be labeled a racist without any proof, just because you criticize somebody. But anyway, yeah, so this is just bad, all right?
Sending him a death threat. As I say every time, of course, they would argue that it's just a joke or something, but that never detracts from how pathetic it is. The artist had even made this response saying, regarding the content of this fan art, I received a response that this was racism against black people because the character's skin is depicted as lighter than in the original work. I also believe that if Ito were human, he would be black. Sorry, my coloring skills are poor, so it's not accurate.
Yeah, but that's just not true. All right, there's no way that this professional artist has poor coloring skills. It's just not it. The only reason why this person makes it seem like he is in fault is the reason why or like he points out his poor coloring skills is to appease the hate mob that he's got after him, you know? And he has to agree that it's racist, because otherwise socially he would get corrupt. Like, he would get bankrupt.
Of course, this is a very talented and successful artist, and his coloring skills are certainly not poor.
Yeah.
Regardless, he felt the need to make that tweet and apologize to the mob. And for many years, Japanese artists would get harassed on Twitter, and many of them would apologize or delete the artwork, etc., etc. But it seems like also over the years, more and more Japanese people have been sick of this sort of treatment, and also sick of the double standards.
Yeah, but there's, you know what it is? Just like in Western societies, Eastern societies are, you know, they also are getting new generations of people. And if there's anything that social media does, it is radicalize people in very disruptive and toxic ways. And there's a new generation of people on the internet in Japan, right? And they grew up, you know, with the same morals, same values as any other Japanese person does. However, in their upbringing, they're going through social media, they're going through Western Western society morals and values and opinions, and slowly but surely they, without them knowing, starting to become like influenced by these things. Now, normally that would be fine, right? There's nothing wrong with getting influenced by other cultures, right? There's nothing wrong with trying to adapt to other cultures, or like to appease people in ways that they prefer, right? However, whenever people say something is bad, and then it's the same exact thing, but it's different because the race is different, and you point it out like, yo, this was racist like a week ago, but now it's happening the other way around. How is people not, you know, pointing out this is racism? And then they tell you you're wrong. That's not true. It's different. In the essence, right, they tell you, shut the fuck up, you're white. Or shut the fuck up, you're Asian. You do not have an opinion in this matter. You're wrong. And so forth, so on, right? So it's very discriminatory towards the people that that point out that point out hypocrisy. But these idiots, right? These idiots on Twitter that tell people, oh, you're wrong, that's not true, it's not the same. The moment you criticize that or you go against that, you're the racist. Not the other way around. Because they can be racist. There's literally people on this earth that believe that they can be racist because of their skin tone. That's already a big issue. That people believe that they can't be racist just because of their skin tone. Like, this is not just an image, alright? This is not just because of a drawing. This is because of a history of people pointing out hypocrisy and then getting told, shut the fuck up, you're white. Shut the fuck up, you're Asian. Shut the fuck up, you're not black. Right? That is the real issue here. And people are just fed up and just done with getting, like, denied opinions or denied stating literal observation and facts and getting told that they are wrong. It's like saying the sky is blue and everyone's screaming, no, the sky is red. No, the fuck it's not. And people don't only see this like, oh, it's just an image. Why is people so blah, blah, blah? Like, it's not just an image, all right? This is just the last drop in the bucket. That bucket has been filling since the first ever hypocrisy. Since the first time this whole hypocrisy, like, event and, like, just whole situation has been going on. Because this is not the first time. This is not the first time. Hell, they are... Bro, look at the Hero Academia stuff. Miriko. A lot of people always say, oh, look, they made Miriko lighter. They're racist. That's racist. Blah, blah, blah. Like... Same with Usopp. Oh, Usopp is so pale now. Even though the source material has always been pale, because the 90s anime, they just had different color palettes. They had just had different things. And slowly but surely, Toei Animation realized that, oh shit, we kind of fucked up the coloring. And now we're slowly getting back. And now the new One Piece adaptation comes out, right? The remake for East Blue. And wow, lo and behold, Usopp is not black. Wow, who would have thought? Who would have thought that the source material from day one that depicted Usopp on day fucking one as pale-skinned is now pale-skinned in the adaptation. Wow, wow, insane, insane. But the people that are upset about that are the same people that are telling we are wrong about being upset about this. That's the problem here. It's the clashing of you're wrong, we're right, even though they're not right, they're just hypocrites, right? Because they see it as an attack on their race, right? Even though we also see that as an attack on our race. And the Japanese are pointing that out. Stop erasing our characters. Stop erasing our culture. Stop erasing what is from us, by us, for us. And just like I would defend that, I would also defend African cultures like that. If there's a depiction of African culture that is not depictive, that is not that doesn't get represented right, I would also defend that. Because I think equality in this thing is the most important part. It's because of the inequality in entertainment that it is important to point this shit out. But you can't just only point out one thing and deny the other. Anyway, let's continue this video before...
So it seems like lately we're seeing more and more of them push back. Now returning to the Okarun and Momo art situation, things ended up getting crazier because the English voice actor for Okarun decided to get involved, changing his profile pic on Twitter.
Bro, there is nothing more that infuriates me than English voice actors nowadays, bro. If you are a voice actor and you have Twitter, stay the fuck out of politics. Stay the fuck away from controversies. Stay the fuck away from anything that could tarnish your career on social media. Stay away from it. Don't include yourself. You're not that character. You're just a voice actor. You can't do this shit. You are working for corporations, and the moment you stir up controversy, you could lose your goddamn job. Use your fucking head. It's not that hard.
To that art of Okrun and saying this is fire and thanking the artist. And indeed, in his bio, we can see it says he, him, voice actor, Dan Okrun. In another tweet, we can get further context, as here we see the voice actress, Anaris Q, changing her profile pic to that art of Momo, and going on to say, new profile pic, had to couple profile pic with AJ Beckles VO, and going on to credit the artist. AJ's response saying,
it's not an artist. That's the first thing. It is not even a fucking artist. It's not.
Had to complete the pair with my girl, and his tweet getting 39,000 likes. However, you may have noticed that in some of those screenshots, AJ's profile pic is no longer that art of Okrun.
Wow, who would have thought? I don't know, maybe because he is literally cooperating with fucking Netflix? Like, bro, fucking Netflix. The moment they saw this shit, or his advisor saw that shit, he was like, yo, get rid of it. Don't do this. Don't do this, bro. Don't do this.
It seems like within 24 hours or less, he actually changed it to a different profile pic. A tweet explaining that, saying, my profile pic is now a fan drawing based off me doing a silly Okrun pose. An Afro-Latino man, which I think is pretty cool. I hope you guys like it. Although that tweet was later changed to instead say, my profile pic is now a fan drawing based off me, an Afro-Latino man. I hope you guys like it.
Like, you can already tell he's getting criticized the moment he did something controversial. You can tell that this guy is not free to do whatever he pleases, right? Now, I would support this man. I think he should be able to do whatever he just did. I think that should be fine. However, in current circumstances, right? He should not do it. He should use his brain.
As of recording, Anaris' profile pic is still Momo, and we can get more context on roles that she's played in her bio that reads,
I mean, really? Voice of Miracle, Lynette Kenshin? Wait, it's still... Hold on, what's her name? Oh my days, hold up. Hold up. Ainaris? Hold on, let me look it up. Okay, so as of this recording on the 15th, it is still her profile picture. Interesting. But she's not even the voice actress for... What? Wait, she's the voice actor for Muku. She is the voice actor of this character. Why does she have a Momo picture on her Twitter? Here it is. The tweet is still up. Here we go. Somebody says, they are just ensuring the complete downfall for VA industry for anime dubs in the West. I can't wait for these people to lose their jobs. Here's another one. Supporting traced recolor artwork. Should have just made her own to begin with. Agreed. What you're doing is basically this. And we have a white... we have a white Black Panther. I'm surprised it's still up. the fact that she's linked with Hoyoverse, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. You know, Hoyoverse has done a lot of like damage control for like the way more minor things than this. So I'm just surprised about that.
Neris's profile pic is still Momo, and we can get more context on roles that she's played in her bio that reads voice of Mirko, My Hero Academia, Lynette Genshin, Fei Xiao Honkai Star Rail, Nessa
Did you just say Mirko? It's Miriko, bro. Come on.
Pokemon, Kimberly, Street Fighter 6, JJK, Dora, and she/they. In her pinned tweet, also providing context to her role in Dandadan, saying that she's the English voice of Muko. As for AJ Beckles, you'll have to come to your own conclusion as to why you think he changed his profile pic so swiftly. Maybe he decided that he...
Well, he's a male, okay? And that's one thing that's also a thing. Whether people like to admit it or not, females have a lot more privilege online than males do, okay? The moment some dude does something wrong, he gets scrutinized to like to oblivion, right? But there's always some people that will defend a woman, no matter what, bro. No matter what.
Was not helping the situation, thinking he was fanning the flames or something like that, and therefore decided to change his profile pic and not get further involved. However, there were also some other things that happened. Once again, come to your own conclusion, but here's the rest of the information. In the responses to his tweet about changing his profile picture, we can see...
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Yep, this goes back to the hypocrisy again. Here we go. Okay. The reason white people, in most cases, shouldn't be playing POC isn't a matter of color, it's culture. Speaking for black people, we know what a barbershop sounds like on a Sundays, what a hot comb smells like when it's going through your hair. It's not okay, so he's badly quoting Denzel Washington here, okay? Alright, here we go. I found the clip.
So why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have...
It's not color, it's culture.
Explain the difference, because I think we're
Steven
in a space
Spielberg
right
did Schindler's List. Martin Scorsese did Goodfellas, right? Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List, but they're cultural differences. You know, I know, you know, we all know what it is when a hot comb hits your hair on a Sunday morning, what it smells like. That's a cultural difference. Not just a color difference.
Right.
So it's the culture.
You know about a hot comb scenario?
No, she don't know about no hot comb.
Because that's
You don't know.
old school.
You don't know nothing about.
Dax.
See how everybody laugh? That's a cultural difference. Yeah.
It's an experience these people experienced, and they can bond between that experience, right? That's a very important thing. That's culture, right? So yeah, he's badly quoting Denzel Washington right now, and like, you know, he's right, he's completely right. However, it's the hypocrisy that is the thing, right? Because with his logic, a Viking should not be black. All right, with his logic. Is it Cinderella? I keep forgetting. I forgot. Is it Cinderella? I don't know. I don't know the Dutch names. I don't know the English names. Snow White. Okay, yeah. Bro, it's in the name. I just realized that, bro. Snow White. Snow White. It's literally the description of how she looks in the cartoon. Her name is a description of how she looks. Snow White. She is pale. Very, very pale. Like, and then here comes the other argument. Oh, well, it's fantasy. Who cares? I don't know. Black Panther is a fantasy. Oh, but they have cultural they got cultural ties with Africa and blah blah blah. There's a reason. Yeah, you know why? Because it's a well-written story. It's a well thought out process. It was specifically made to exclude anything except African cultures. And I totally agree with that. I don't think there should be a pale-skinned Black Panther. I agree on that, right? Just like with this whole stupid Miles Morales like stuff. Like, oh, what if Miles Morales was white? No. There's a whole story. I played Miles Morales game. All right? His whole story is literally his life. It's his life. And he was born, I think Afro-Latino, I think that's how it's called. I'm not quite sure about all the terms, so forgive me if I'm wrong on that. But his whole life is surrounding the fact that he is Afro-Latino, that he is Black, that he lives in a particular culture. Peter Parker lives in a completely different culture. But Peter Parker is a very minimalistic race-based character. Peter Parker is a character that he is a dude. It's not about that he's white. It's not about how anything regarding his race. He's just a dude. But Miles Morales is literally built. The building blocks of Miles Morales is literally that he is Afro-Latino. So there is no way that you could race swap him without erasing a very crucial part of his character, right? And personally, I don't think it's a bad thing if characters are based on their race, or like it's heavily like reliant on, you know, his upbringing, culture, or whatever. I think that's great. I think if you can flourish a character in their culture and make it make sense, and, you know, have a good character in at the end, I think that's great. However, there's a very big important question, or an important thing to mention, is just because white characters are not built on the roots of their cultures, or the roots of their upbringing, or the roots on their race, that doesn't mean you can just willy-nilly race swap them whenever you want. Especially if you remake something that we used to, you know, we watched in our childhood, right? We watched that shit. And I think Snow White is not even that bad. I think the voice actress, or the actor, I just think the actress is a terrible person. But that's just feminism. That's a whole different section of a huge issue in social media, and just overall inequality in treatment in media nowadays. But yeah, anyway, so he quoted Denzel Washington in a very poor manner, and and like I said, I think he's correct in this statement, but the real issue here is the hypocrisy in everything here.
See a number of tweets like these. This one, for example, saying, "As a Black guy myself, I stand with Japan when I say some of y'all need to be stopped," and posting a few images of prior tweets that AJ had made. These reading, "Every time there is a Black actor cast in a role in fantasy where the source material version is lighter skinned, someone always has something to say about it. So tiring. It doesn't affect the character whatsoever. It's okay." And the other one reading, "The reason white people in most cases shouldn't be playing POC isn't a matter of color. It's culture. Speaking for Black people, we know what a barbershop sounds like on Sundays, what a hot comb smells like when it's going through our hair. It's not the color, it's the culture." And so, as mentioned, many people in the responses and even elsewhere on the internet began sharing those various tweets of AJ's. However, the situation also proliferated back over in Japan too, as we would then have this tweet from Shin responding to that prior tweet that AJ made, where he talked about changing his profile pic to that altered version of Okarun. Shin going on to say this and getting over 17,000 likes. "Please spread the word. This is a declaration by the overseas voice actors that they support, quote, the racism that disrespects the original work by turning characters Black and excluding Japanese people, unquote. Change the icon image of the X account to, quote, a Japanese exclusion blackening hate image, unquote. It expressed blasphemy against the original work and discrimination against Japanese people. This is an international issue. Officially, please remove this voice actor from his role immediately.
And this is a very extreme response to the situation. Because if this was the first time, this wasn't something that they would say. But it's not the first time. It has been constantly happening. Constantly, over and over and over. And the moment you criticize it, you get told you're wrong. You're white. Shut the fuck up. It's not the same. You know, it's just the same people that say you're wrong, shut the fuck up, are the ones that get outraged when the opposite happens. But yeah, like I said, like 5 million times already in this video, it's the hypocrisy that is the real issue here.
Some of the responses to Shin's tweet including, y'all single-handedly managed to red pill Japan just by being obnoxious. Conversely, however, this tweet seems to be upset by Shin's tweet saying, the Japanese nerds are starting to get on my nerves. And this response from Zero Dozer talking about localization issues as well, saying, now the Japanese know what the localization industry thinks of them. My suggestion? Make a move to get these losers out of their jobs. People both in the West and East are sick of these racist psychopaths. Over on our Kotaku in action,
agree.
A top post would get made saying, Ken Takakura, Dandadan English VA supports blackwashing art, also thinks white VAs can't voice POC.
Yep. Like, that was a very stupid thing. And the thing he said here in 2001 and 2002, he is correct. He should be able to say this because this statement he said, even though he poorly quoted Denzel Washington here, it is correct and it should be something that he should be able to say without any repercussions whatsoever. But because everything is so surrounding the hypocrisy, surrounding the fact that rules for thee, not for me, that's why this is an issue.
But not vice versa. English voice actor again exposing racism and hypocrisy, again showing we need to clean house the voice acting industry. And going on to post the tweets that we took a look at earlier, just for a refresher, the ones where AJ had said, every time there's a black actor cast in a role in fantasy where the source material version is lighter skinned, someone always has something to say about it. So tiring.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. It would be the same thing. If a black character historically was played a character, right? If a character was historically black and they suddenly appear to be, light skin, you also are gonna point it out. You are also going to talk about it. You are also gonna be outraged about it. Like, and then, well, because of history, it used to be always white, and now we're trying to incorporate more people of color, and then they erasing it. No, listen, man. I think race swapping is fine. I think gender swapping is fine. I think anything swapping whatsoever is fine in art, right? I think people should be able to express whatever they want, but because the surrounding situation, the surrounding history, surrounding this whole thing about race swapping, you have to acknowledge that inequality can be both ways. Like, the majority of us are pro-equality. We're fine with having black characters. We're fine with that. We just don't like bad characters, badly written characters. And we definitely don't want characters to be race swapped because of an agenda. Right? Just because of an agenda. Imagine if Hollywood, right? Imagine if Hollywood did the opposite, right? Hollywood used to be dominated by black characters. And now they are race swapping previously black characters for white because of an agenda. That is wrong. That is racist. That is erasing a character's image. And especially if that character's image is bound and rooted in culture, which Okarun and Momo are, because they are literally Japanese. They're going to a Japanese high school. They are literally living in Japan. So their whole character is rooted in the fact that they are Japanese, right? It is racist to swap them.
Doesn't affect the character whatsoever. It's okay. And the reason why people, in most cases, shouldn't be playing POC isn't a matter of color. It's culture. Speaking for black people, we know what a barbershop sounds like on Sundays, what a hot comb smells like when it's going through our hair. It's not the color, it's the culture. Getting top responses such as, imagine a white...
Yep, that's also a huge part. Imagine a white person saying this. And honestly, it's not about race, but I recently I'm pretty active on TikTok, even though the majority of my comments get blocked. And they always get denied too. But here's a really good example that I got recently that I actually posted about. I was responding to a video or a TikTok posted that said, straight people are evil, right? Then I commented under that video, imagine if I say gay people are evil. Wonder how that turns out. My comment got removed for hate speech and hateful behavior. Mind you, this fucking video literally stated in the video, in the captions, in the description, straight people are evil. I appealed. I didn't even say that. I said, what if? Or I said, imagine if I said this. Imagine if I meant this, what I said. I wonder how that turns out. It is literally what this shit said. Imagine a white person saying this.
Excuse me.
Imagine the straight person saying this. Do you realize it? It's not the fact that people are racist or homophobic or whatever. It is the hypocrisy that some opinions get allowed and some opinions are getting blocked, are getting scrutinized, are getting disregarded. It is the inequality of freedom of speech and the inequality of opportunities, of just everything. Here we go. They lose their job, receive death threats to them and their family, and will probably be blacklisted from the industry for good. Yes. Yes. Bro, imagine. We all know Afro Samurai, right? Fantastic anime. Everyone likes Afro Samurai. Now, imagine the voice actor, the English voice actor, right? Who is somehow white. I'm not even sure who voiced him. Hold on, let me check. I mean, there's no way Afro Samurai has a white voice actor, bro. Oh, bro, it's Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson voices Afro Samurai. Now, let's imagine there is a world where Afro Samurai got voiced as a black character, which is the polar opposite of what Okarun-kun had, right? Okarun-kun is Japanese, getting voiced by a black person. I think that's fine. Just to clarify. Now, imagine Afro Samurai is voiced by a white person, right? And is actively promoting a whitewashed art or edit for Afro Samurai. He would lose his career. It's over. Now, obviously, it's a very stupid example because there's no way Afro Samurai would be voiced by anyone else that is not black, right? It makes sense. However, look at God of War. I think God of War and Kratos, right? For example, he is voiced by a black man. At least in the PS4 and PS5 games. I'm not sure about the other ones. But he does a phenomenal job. Right? I don't think that's bad. I think they purposely casted him because he has a fucking fantastic voice. And I think that should be the standard. The standard should be quality. Alright? I don't think it should be inclusion. It should be skill. It shouldn't be inclusion. But yeah, like, he would lose his job.
White person saying all this, they'd lose their job, receive death threats to them and their family, and would probably be blacklisted from the industry for good. Satirically, someone says, "Excuse me, sir, I noticed you inadvertently use offensive terminology blacklisted in your post."
Wait, what? 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 Oh, it's a joke. I thought it was a mod comment. What the fuck?
We don't use white/black to refer to good or bad anymore. It's 2024, chud. And another saying, "What a frickin' racist thing to say. Quote, all black people have the same culture and experience, unquote." And the implied BS of, haha, whites have no culture. And speaking for black people, who the heck made you king of the blacks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They are just swapping black and white here. Right? Normally it would be all white people have the same culture and experiences, and black have no culture. That would be the equivalent, right?
And this one saying, he changed his profile pic to a fan art of himself. I guess his agency told him to shut up. And
True.
That cycles me back to what I said earlier in the video about coming to your own conclusion here. Why do you think he changed his profile pic back and so fast?
I like to believe that he saw his wrongdoings and that he stirred up controversy surrounding a project he has worked on, and arguably is the only one that he will be known for as of now, and that he is and that he is pissing off a big section of the fan base of that is consuming the product. However, I don't think he's that smart.
Do you think it was out of like some good character development? Like maybe he was like, you know what, this is not good. Like I'm making a mess out of the situation, so he changed it back. Or maybe it really is like his agency telling him to shut up. Although that does seem kind of unlikely. A lot of these English voice acting companies seem like they would support the tweets that AJ made, if anything. Maybe it was.
Yeah. Honestly, I think so. That makes sense. So maybe maybe he did do the responsible thing.
It was the whole thing causing people to look into the history of what he's posted and not wanting all that attention. Or maybe it was the tweet going on in Japan where people are calling for him to lose his job.
That's true. He could be terrified, you know? I mean, first of all, it's already a very tough business, the voice acting job, right? So him getting having that job is already something he probably had to fight for, because it's just a very very hard occupation to get into. So he might have been scared. He's like, oh shit, what if I lose my job because of this? I would like to stand up for, you know, for things I believe in. However, I don't want to lose my job, so I'm taking the high road. That could be the case.
Or some combination of all that, who knows? Leave your thoughts in the comments. As always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this coverage, and if you did, consider liking and or subscribing. Appreciate ya, and I'll see you.
Yeah, alright, so very good video of him. I think I already said everything in the video. This video is getting really long. I hope I can cut down a lot of it. I hope I can get rid of a lot of the things I just, you know, repeated. However, I just want to really drive home that people are not inherently racist. People are not inherently anti-LGBTQ, alright? People aren't that. However, the people that are portrayed or that are like making statements that would make you think that, those are the same people that used to support it, that used to have no issue with it, but because they were denied and discriminated against and been treated racist and have been treated in a racist manner, they got radicalized because nobody likes to be pointed out that they are wrong about something that is clear inside not the case. Like for my example, like the sky is blue, and then people saying no, the sky is red. Like, no, it's not. That would piss everyone off. If you keep getting told you're wrong, even though it's in plain sight and anyone with a brain can see that is inherently just not correct, that is rooted in hypocrisy, that is hypocritical, eventually people will just lose it. People will just had enough. Imagine if you said, Africa? Oh, well, Africa's full of white people. Anyway, that's about it. Take care.